Hey guys, today we are going to see how fast can Gengar beat Pokemon Yellow in a solo challenge. As usual, if you have any predictions, make sure to put them down below in the comment section. Now, let's get straight into the video. Gengar's base stats are honestly pretty solid, especially Gengar's special attack, as well as its speed. They're both phenomenal, which is what's probably going to carry throughout this run in my opinion. Next up, Gengar's move pool. There's not too much to look at apart from the fact that he learns Hypnosis at level 29 and Dream Eater at 38, which are two really great moves combined together. Now its teachables, we have a variety of what we can choose from, but most likely the only moves we will be choosing from this teachable section area will be Mega Punch, Body Slam, and Sidekick. Potentially Thunderbolt as well. A fun fact about Gengar is that it's a tradable only Pokemon in Gen 1, its first stage being Ghastly, second Haunter, and lastly Gengar. Now that our intro is out of the way, our first actual challenge is Rival Battle number 1. And at the moment we're pretty under leveled, we're only level 6 and its Spearow is level 9, but it's no worries. I believe our Gengar should be able to get the job done. We're trying to attempt minimum battles here, but we want the hardest challenge at the end game. So in order for us to do that, we need to beat rival battle number 1 for him to choose Jolteon at the very end game. If we don't, he'll choose Flareon, but we managed to pull that off. And like how I had mentioned before, we want to get minimum battles, so we go ahead and skip the trainer, and once we get past the forest, we face Brock, our first gym leader. And it's Geodude, it's cake. All we have to do is just spam Lick. It has no physical moves that can actually damage us, and even Onix with its bind, it can't do no damage to us. But the only issue that I have in mind is Bide. So when he used Bide, I stuck to Confuse Ray and ended up confusing the Onix, which could benefit us if it hurts himself. And on top of that, how I had mentioned Bide, I'm not sure if it's actually able to hit us, but I didn't want to take the chance and cost a reset, so I just went ahead and stuck to using Confuse Ray and spammed Lick, thus earning us our first actual gym badge. After earning our first badge with Brock, we want to go ahead and face rival battle number 2, and at this point we're at level 19, which is not too bad, but we've also picked up the TM Mega Punch, which we've taught to Gengar, and this is honestly going to help us out at least for the Misty fight. And with Gary, which that's what I named my rival, we ended up sweeping him with Nightshade and as well as Mega Punch. But thanks to the Sandrew, he pretty much spammed Sand Attack, since the AI thinks that's the only effective move that he can do against me, thus causing me to miss about 100 times. And not only that, Lick isn't effective against Rattata, so I have to spam Mega Punch, and Mega Punch is about a 85 accuracy, or 80 accuracy, I'm sorry. So the accuracy is already bad alone just with the move. So if you apply Sand Attack onto whatever my attack move is, it just kind of makes it terrible. And I honestly ended up missing about all the PPs that my moveset had, which is very unfortunate. And at this fight, I believe I ended up using Struggle, because even on Eevee, Lick doesn't work. So I believe Lick just doesn't work against normal types, which is pretty unfortunate, but no issue. I think we still got the dub here. But one of the main issues I ran with Gengar is not the fact that it just pretty much ended up dying to opponents, but the real struggle was actually using Struggle because that was really the main issue that I had going on through this run. Is I just ran out of power points, so I had to constantly go to the Pokemon Center and use the healing or talk to the healing people. But no worries, after defeating Gary and defeating Nugget Bridge, I want to go ahead and made my way to face Misty, and where I pretty much knocked out its Staryu with ease, and as well as its Starmie, I just spammed Mega Punch, where this is pretty much where it came in handy. But its Starmie was putting up a fight, but at the end of the day we got the W, so that's all that matters. And after collecting the SSN ticket as well from Bill, we make our way towards the SSN boat, and where we fight our rival number 3. And on top of that, we picked up the TM body slam, which is going to be a move we pretty much have in our arsenal for the rest of the game. It's one of the best moves in the game, at least for normal types. And with just body slam alone, we wiped out his team. We got cut, and we ended up making our way to fight LT Surge, and where he has pretty much a little bit of scary Raichu, you could say. But at this point, my Gengar learned hypnosis, and I put it straight to sleep, and I just spammed body slam, which I got a flawless victory, which is pretty nice. And then after that, I made my way towards the first Rocket hideout, where we fight Giovanni for the first time, and as well as picked up a rare candy there too. But no big deal. His rock type Pokemon ain't much of a threat against my Gengar, since most of his attacks don't affect me, at least not yet. And we just spam Nightshade and Lick. First Persian, we ended up using Nightshade as well, and I believe we finished it with a body slam, which it survives with 1 HP. We used Nightshade again, and we finished it off. I was thinking about using Lick, but then I remembered that it's not effective, so that's unfortunate. After defeating Rocket Hideout 1, we make our way towards Erica, the grass type gym leader, in which we just pretty much stick to body slam and Nightshade. Lick potentially as well, but she wasn't much of a fight. We ended up knocking her out with Breeze. We spam Nightshade, finish off the Tangela. With Weeping Bell, we use body slam, get a paralysis, which is one of the best things about body slam in Gen 1, that it has a 30% chance to cause paralysis, which is a very useful. And they ended up paralyzing me, which is very unfortunate, but no worries. We ended up defeating the Gloom, which got us the 4th gym badge, and thanks to that, we make our way towards Lavender Town, where we fight our rival for the 4th time and knock out its Firo with Psychic. Oh, we also picked up Psychic, that's right. And yeah, it's gonna be another move that we just pretty much have in our arsenal for the rest of the game. Very useful, hands down. It's a 90 out of 100% accuracy base move, I guess you could say. But as you saw, we knocked out its whole team with essentially one-shots, and at this point our rival gets a massive XP boost, which is very unfortunate for us, but I guess good for him. And it starts by using Sand Attack, which thankfully he missed, because if it was one Sand Attack, it could have probably cost me the fight at least. Next up is Ninetales. We finish it off with just using body slam. He sends out Cloyster, we use Psychic, and at this point we've also learned the Dream Meter, which we replaced Confuse Ray with. And at this point we also just keep it for the rest of the game. It's Kadabra, we use body slam, finish it off, and then now our rival comes out with a Jolteon. And for those who don't know, in Gen 1 Jolteon has the highest speed, I believe. So at this point, if we don't out-level him, he's pretty much gonna outspeed us every time. So that's pretty unfortunate. But we ended up knocking his Jolteon with body slam, and we defeated battle rival number 4 or 5. At this point, I kinda already lost. At this point, we defeated our rival. Now we're fighting Giovanni. We knock out its Nidoran with Psychic, or Nidorino, I'm sorry. We spam body slam on the Persian, knock it out in 2 hits. Next up, he sends out Rhyhorn, which we finish off with Psychic and 1 hit, no problem. It's Nidoqueen. We use Psychic, but it actually survived, so we ended up finishing it off with a body slam. So easy fight here, at least at the moment. Next up, we make our way towards Sabrina. We finish off its Abro in 1 hit with body slam. Second, he sends Kadabra. It ends up being a 2 hit. He uses Recover, but that's not enough health to be without KO range. So Alakazam is going to be an issue here, which at least I thought it was. But we ended up using hypnosis on it, which is probably the reason why I ended up walking through Sabrina at least, because body slam wasn't doing enough damage. But we ended up getting a crit, which ended up knocking it out in our favor. And now that we got our 6th badge, we make our way towards Koga, which we kind of usually skip and then I always end up going back to it just due to time. I feel like it's much faster if I fight Sabrina, if I'm able to at least. Now with internets, we just knock them all out in one hit with Psychic, and its Venomoth actually survives and ends up being in the two hit KO range. But Venomat actually knows Psychic, which is super effective against Gengar, but my Gengar survives the hit like a beast, and we won. Next up, we make our way towards Blaine in Cinnabar Island, and where the first Pokemon he sends out is Ninetales. We use Psychic, but it's doing about 1/3 per damage, which it's alright, but we managed to knock it out, and we still haven't lost any health up until we got to Rapidash. It uses Fire Spin, and Fire Spin either can be a hit or miss, and with Gengar it was sort of a miss, which is thank God. But next up, he sends Arcanine. We put it to sleep with Hypnosis. We use Body Slam on the puppy, and then as you saw, we ran out of PP with Psychic, so that's unfortunate, which how I had mentioned, that's something that we ran into pretty often since our Gengar doesn't have the biggest move pool number, I guess you could call it. But we defeated Blaine with ease, and now we make our way towards Giovanni, the 8th gym leader. And this guy was kind of tough, to be honest. We use Psychic on the Doug Trio, it survives. Use it one more time, we finish it off. It's Persian, we stuck to Body Slam, but it survives again, surprisingly. And now since he used Double Team 3 times or twice at this point, it kind of cost me to miss, but no big issue here. Nidoqueen, it survives, and it's Earthquake. Yeah, that does a lot of damage. We barely managed to scrape by that. We use Hypnosis on the Nidoking, miss. Thankfully he falls asleep on the second turn, and now we use Dream Eater. So Dream Eater only gave us about half its health. Well, that's unfortunate, but half my health, I'm sorry. Rhydon, we put it to sleep, and Nidoking and Rhydon could have both finished me off, but we managed to barely win, and we make our way towards the Pokemon Elite 4, where we fight rival number 6, which is our last battle before we fight him as the champ. And he starts off with Sand Slash, but no big deal. Finish it off with ease. It's Execute, we put it to sleep, and as well as finish it off with Body Slam. So at this point, we get to the Ninetales. We have no damage to us done yet, and we put the Ninetales to sleep, and then we stick to using Body Slam and Psychic, and he wakes up, and we finish it off with Body Slam. Next up, he sends Cloyster. We use Psychic on the shell. He uses Aurora Beam, but doesn't really do much damage, and we finish it off with Body Slam. Next up, he just sends out Kadabra. He uses Reflect. We use Body Slam. We get a Paralysis on the Kadabra. It survives another hit, and we finish it off with Body Slam. Next up, he sends up Jolteon, his last Pokemon. He uses Agility, but no big deal. We put the Electric Cat to sleep. We use Psychic. He still survives, and we use Psychic one more time, and we managed to get the victory at level 52. Now that we got our rival out of the way, we make our way towards the Elite 4, in which we first fight Lorelei. But one thing we're going to try to go ahead and do is beat the Elite 4 without saving in between, so we can have a little bit more of a tougher challenge. No saving in between. If we die, it's a complete reset. We put the Dewonk to sleep. We use Dream Eater on it. We use Dream Eater on it again, but it wakes up the next turn, and we stick to Body Slam, finishing it off. Cloyster, we use Psychic, but it's doing about half damage, so next one should be able to finish off, which it does. Slowbro is a little bit of an issue here, but we have Body Slam, so we kind of just stick to using Body Slam. And since it was asleep and I didn't want to use all of my Body Slams, I used Dream Eater like once, and then use Psychic to finish it off, which I knew it was in KO range. So next up is Jinx, Nicki Minaj, or Snooki as some may call her. But we get a paralysis with Body Slam on it, and we finish it off. Next up, Lapras, which is the last final Pokemon. We put it to sleep and it wakes up. So yeah, so we use Hypnosis one more time, and thankfully its Confused Ray finally wore off, and we use Dream Eater on the Lapras, thus giving us full health, and we knock out the turtle with Psychic. Yep, yes, there we go, which we defeated Lorelei. Next up, it's Bruno, the rock type Pokemon, or the fighting type Pokemon, Gym Leader, Elite Four, whatever you want to call him. We use Psychic on the rock type Pokemon, we knock it out in one hit. Next up, Hitmonchan, we use Psychics, and Psychic moves are effective to fighting type. Next up, we get to Hitmonlee, and we also leveled up to level 54. We knock out the Hitmonlee in one shot with Psychic. Onyx, the same thing goes, we get a crit on it, but even without a crit we should have been able to. Machamp survives with 1 HP at level 54, and we finish it off with Body Slam. I was thinking Bruno was going to use a full restore, but at this I guess I was wrong. We use one of our ethers on Psychic because yeah, we're definitely going to need it on Agatha, at least since all her Pokemon are Psychic type. We start off with trying to use Hypnosis. We miss both times, and her Gengar ends up landing a Confused Ray on us, so that's unfortunate. She switches out to Golbat, and we use Hypnosis. We're trying to get some health back, so I believe we end up using Dream Eater here, and which we did, and we managed to get back to full health, so that's good. It sends out the Gengar we had previously put to sleep, and we use Dream Eater on it, which knocks it down to about 3/10 of a health left, and finish it off. She sends out the Haunter. We're confused, so that's unfortunate. Her Gengar ends up putting me to sleep, but we wake up in the following turn, which is good, and we knock out that Gengar, the Haunter, I'm sorry, that survived with 1 HP. Now our Gengar uses Psychic, knocks out her Arbok. Next up, we're still confused, but she sends out her strongest Pokemon, Gengar, level 60. But no big deal, we defeated her still with Psychic, which is why we needed Psychic to be replaced. Well yeah, we need the Ether to max out our Psychic one more time. And at this point, we use another Ether on Psychic, and I think we use a full restore just to be sure. Oh, we didn't. We actually just said F it, we went for it. But we did use another Ether on our Dream Eater just in case, which I kind of made a mistake there. I was trying to use it on the Hypnosis, but even if our Dream Eater wasn't full on, or wasn't full on, we didn't have enough of it, I'm sorry, it was no big deal. We still needed it to be replenished, and we still had enough Hypnosis, what I'm trying to say. We finish off the Gyarados with Body Slam. Next up is Dragonair. We use Hypnosis on the Dragonair just because we don't want one of the Dragonairs to land the Thunder Wave on us and pretty much slow us down and cause paralysis on us, which I just wanted to make sure nothing messed up and went the opposite way of what we wanted it to. It's Aerodactyl, it's a problem, so we ended up putting it to sleep. One thing about Aerodactyl is that it can use Fly, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. But we got the Hypnosis on it and we knocked it out. With Dragonite, it's the same thing. Hypnosis is just too OP in Gen 1 in my opinion. And we finish off the Dragonite with, we almost did at least, with Dream Eater. But at this point, he uses Blizzard. But as you can see, our special defense is just way too high and doesn't do any damage to us, and we put it to sleep again. We use Dream Eater, recover our health, and we use Dream Eater one more time, thus causing it to KO it, and we got the victory against Lance. Last but not least, we have the champion, our rival, and at this point I wanted to see what PPs I needed to restore, and I see that I needed Hypnosis and as well as Body Slam. So I want to go ahead and replenish our power points with with max ethers and as well as elixirs, which, as you saw, elixir replenished about pretty much all of it. But I was like, it's the last fight, I'm gonna just go ahead and use them all, and we make our way to fight the final rival, the champ. He starts off by sending Sand Slash. We use Hypnosis on it. We ended up using Psychic on it next. We took about a little bit over half its health, and we finish off the Hedgehog with Dream Eater. Next up, he sends Alakazam. We use a Body Slam, but it causes paralysis on it, which ended up benefiting us in our favor, and it slowed it down so we can get another hit. He uses Executor, something like Executor, but it was a battle of Hypnosis, and he actually managed to land the Hypnosis on me, so that's unfortunate. But one thing I noticed throughout those exchanges is that his Pokemon has nothing effective against my Gengar, so that's honestly very, very useful and fortunate for us, because if this was any other Pokemon at this point, my Gengar would probably already been dead. I mean, my Pokemon would have already died, or it would have been a reset essentially. So as you see, it's one of the most longest, boringest fights of Pokemon history, just due to that person using Hypnosis on me, and I fell asleep again, so that's unfortunate. And as you can see, Stomp doesn't affect me. I wake up, use Body Slam, I managed to get a paralysis, but he uses Hypnosis on me again, and I managed to fall asleep, so that's a bummer. At this point, the next time I wake up, it should be a KO, which I actually didn't knock it out, but as you see, I woke up again and knocked it out. Now he sends up Cloyster. We use Psychic on it. He uses a full restore on his Cloyster, but no big deal. We knock out. We use a Psychic, get it about halfway health. Use another Psychic and knock it out. Now for Ninetales, we put the puppy to sleep. We use Dream Eater on it, and I believe we stuck to using Body Slam to finish off the puppy. Oh, and then we mix it up. Use a Psychic, Body Slam one more time, and now our Gengar is level 58. Next up, he sends up his Jolteon, and the first thing he does is use Paralysis on me, so that's unfortunate. And we put it to sleep. Now that it's asleep, we stick to Dream Eater and we knock it out using Body Slam. So now that we defeated our champion, we essentially beat the game, you could say, and all in one go. Which honestly, I'm not surprised by Gengar. He's a really good Pokemon in Gen 1, especially Psychic types. Psychic types are pretty OP in Gen 1, and at least with Lorelei, I had to do reset. I had to reset at least a couple times on her, so that's unfortunate. But one thing looking back on it is that I probably should have taught my Pokemon Thunderbolt, but no worries, I learned that for my next potential runs. But we beat the game at a 728, and just for a little treat, I ended up leveling up my Gengar to level 65, I believe 66, and we decided to fight Mewtwo, see how well our Gengar will do against Mewtwo. We start off by using Hypnosis, trying to put it to sleep, in which we did, and we used Dream Eater, knocking about 1/10 of its health. So as you saw, we need to mix it up a bit. Thankfully, we have Body Slam, and we defeated the Mewtwo. One thing I will say is that if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and as well as comment down below, share it to anybody that might be interested. But I thought it was too easy, so I decided to restart and as well as fight the Gengar at level 58. And at this point, it was the same strategy: use Hypnosis and spam Body Slam. But Mewtwo uses a Psychic and gets me down to 7 HP, and we knock it out.